it's a bit of an unusual morning this morning. I am John with JP Auto Paint Works. We are out in Runaway Bay, Texas. This is a small car. We're stripping the hood, the roof, and I think the trunk. I got to look at it again, but it all looks like this. So we get a lot of questions and stuff like that. Hey, John, I'm a DIY guy. How far should I take that down when it looks like this? Or do I need to take it down, or can I just re-clear it? This you need to remove. This is dead, and it's actually lifted up from the actual paint, okay? So what you want to do is you need to remove it. We'll make the whole car look like this, or the whole hood, the whole roof, the whole trunk. We'll make it look like that. That's what you need to do. I'm using 80 grit on a DA, 6-inch DA to strip this stuff. And then as we, after we strip it, if you want, you can get 180 and then go back over it and then prime it. I 80 it and then I prime it. I use the true high fill, high build lacquer primer that everybody hates and screams about. So use what you want, do what you want, however you want, your grown ass adult.
Candyman was saying hi this morning. Then he said, "Be careful, John. You're on the verge of teaching." LOL. That's what I keep telling him.
Well, we got 2,300 followers. Thank you for that, you guys who are out here on YouTube. I have a hatred that borders lines on, like, I wish I had some like TNT to blow up all of TikTok because I hate it. They've changed shit. You can't go anymore at all. Like, somebody can call me a retard or stupid or dumbass, but when I go, well, look, I'm doing, and then all of a sudden I get flagged, I get tagged, and so wally bang bing bong. I'm trying to teach do something a little different here on YouTube. That's all I want to do, something a little different. Try to take things a little differently.
Good time says JP and daughter. Good morning.
Good morning. Neo
says, JP, what's your rap name?
I don't have a rap name. I've got a killer name called Psycho.
So an update. We're going to be having t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. Finally.
Yeah, we found a place that will sell it. It'll be an Amazon link. We're kind of having an argument
about what the shirt should say.
What the shirt should say. So we're going to have multiple shirts. I think I'm going to have my face on one, kind of like on the back. And then it says, JP Auto Paint Works. We know you're an asshole painter because you don't do what we do. I want to make t-shirts that, you know, have my smart ass sayings on it. Like, I can get a throw pillow. I want to put my face on it and go, your mom and wife have sat here a lot.
Oh, God. Yeah, we can have pillows. It just feels weird. You want a pillow of Pop's face on it?
Then you can fart on it, wipe your ass on it. You do whatever you want. I don't care because you're going to pay the $9.95.
Tyler said, I like the garage. I would have went with redwood, though. I think we have redwood out here. You know how expensive that is?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, we don't have redwood. I'm in Texas. You're lucky all of this pine is in here, and it's not mesquite. Although mesquite is fireproof.
Good time says, what's your daughter's name?
None of your goddamn business. That's what it is.
Really? So I don't get a name.
Cynthia. Candyman should be chiming in 3, 2, 1.
Your name's Larry.
That all the questions? So we're trying to do something new. Like I said, we're going to be talking about how to do this shit DIY. Maybe giving some business advice as well. I get a lot of people that go, I can't get your pricing. I can't get your pricing. Where do you live? I can't get your pricing. Where do you live? I can't get your pricing. You're not doing it right. Where do you live? I'm in the UK. I'm in Canada. Okay, you can't do it as cheap as me because you live in a third world country.
Yeah.
You are in a third world shithole. You know, like North Korea. You live in North Korea. Okay. You can't do my pricing. You can't do what I do because, well, you're not good enough and you live in a third world country. I can't emphasize that enough. How much I hate Canada.
EX says, one of my favorite pastimes lately is to surprise my wife every week when she does laundry by hiding a pair of my pants I took a crap in the laundry basket. She hates and loves it. Happy life, man.
Hey, you're a sick motherfucker. Maybe get a little bit of help there, but I mean, you know, that's between you and your wife. I guess she likes toddlers.
Candyman says, what about a cloth diaper for your face with your face?
Cloth diaper with my face. Candyman, you're a real dick this morning, aren't you? Fucking asshole.
Good time says JP and Larry.
There it is. Her name is Cynthia.
But he did accidentally call me Larry once.
I didn't accidentally. I did it on purpose. We had just watched Blended. You little asshole.
Let's see. Good time says JP, I paid $1,000 in 1993 for a paint job like what you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably high prices for 90s.
Well, I mean, you know.
Considering Mako was $199.
Yeah.
Time to turn. Oh, he was already full. No, Pops is wearing a cloth shirt. Are you wearing a do-rag?
Is it a do-rag? I don't know. It's something that some people taught me long ago that when you get sweat because you work, you put something above your eyeballs. It keeps the sweat from burning your eyeballs. You call it whatever you want.
It's one of those t-shirts, though. I said it's one of those t-shirts, though.
Right. It's from the box of rags.
Yeah.
I don't know why you people are so surprised that a white guy would wear something like this.
A bandana.
like this is the only fucking thing that black people wear? Have you ever been outside of your own fucking neighborhood? Ever?
Candyman says, I'm going to GameStop today. Hopefully they have it.
Holy shit. Is there a GameStop? They sold the one that was up here in Decatur. They got rid of it. It went out of business.
Yeah.
I didn't know that GameStop still had it. Why are you going to GameStop? You could buy it offline, dude. Download it.
Might be cheaper to buy off Amazon.
If you've got the good internet, which I know you do because you live in fucking Weatherford, it should take you like 10 minutes to download that shit. But I've been playing under a new name as of late.
Oh, Lord.
But I can go back to Hammer Dead.
Everyone around me says they want paint, but rust will come back. You need all new panels. Sometimes you can cut and weld panels.
You have to
spots.
cut. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how big the rust is. Rust is a cancer, so it starts off as a surface rust. And if you don't deal with that, well, then it bites into the metal. And once it bites into the metal, it starts eating it from the inside out. And so you're truly and well fucked. But it depends. You know, you can cut and weld on a quarter panel or a door, but you know, fenders, hoods, stuff like that, you can buy them aftermarket for probably $75 to $125.
Let's see. Everett says, what's up, JP from Indiana?
What's up?
Jay says GameStop is going bankrupt.
They've been going bankrupt. People don't know this because, well, I'm a gamer. I've been here since the very beginning. But GameStop started out as a company called Babbage's. And they sold computer games, PC games mostly, and then they transferred over into Nintendo and PS systems when they first came out. And then they went bankrupt, and so came along and GameStop was born because GameStop bought them out.
What was the other company? It wasn't GameStop, but it was called something else. Do you remember them?
No. GameStop's the one who's held them the longest.
It used to be one in Central Park in Virginia that we used to go to when I was a kid, but it wasn't GameStop. Let's see. Candyman says, I'm old. I prefer the hard disk, LOL. I feel that way about...
You mean CD.
I feel that way about computer games. I hate nowadays that most laptops you get don't even come with
a hard drive.
The CD-ROM drive. Yeah. Let's see. DJ John says, in Britain, we used to wear bandanas in the 70s.
Yes, we did. We did that as kids, too. And we had them, right? Because they were made.
Yep.
Nowadays, you don't have them. So we take a rag, put it over our dew, and then we don't have water in there.
Let's see. Everett says, I like your videos on Lacquer, man. I grew up using Lacquer.
Well, I do too. I mean, I've used Lacquer, but I've used 2K too. People just assume that I don't know what I'm doing because I tell people all the time, I don't like 2K because the retards of today can't tell the difference between dry and cured. They think when something is dry, it's cured, and it's not true. Curing is a 30-day process. It can be sped up by baking it in a booth. But even then, you still got maybe a week or two left that needs to be cured. And that means that you've sprayed over layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and you've stacked it, right? And so cured means that down here at the bottom, it's still kind of wet, and there are solvents working their way through the other layers. And until that happens, that's still wet, okay? It's dry, and it's non-movable, but the chemical reactions that are happening are still there. The top 2 or 3 layers are dry. They're dry enough to sand on. They're dry enough to buff on. That's why you would wet sand and buff a car a day after you paint it, and then come back to it a week later, and you could see where the sand scratches had started to show again because it was dry but not cured. And the kids of today don't know the difference between dry and cured. They really don't. I don't like 2K primer because the data sheet will tell you it takes 6 weeks to cure. Sandable, paintable in 24 hours. The big difference in that. And the kids of today, the applicators of today, they don't know that. They can't tell that difference. They think that, oh, it's cured. It's cured. I run a UV light over it. It's cured. Guys, we had the infrared lights that were on, okay? And so they'd heat up the metal, which, heated up the car, which heated up the 2K.
Panel.
And the 2K was dry enough in 2 hours from, 130-degree heat sitting on it for 2 hours to dry it, sand it, and paint it. But it was never cured. Now, that's not me. I don't like that. I run a production paint shop, which means I will DA the shit out of this hood, the roof, and the trunk. It will be done. Tape it up, 400 the whole rest of it, blow it off, prime, go to lunch. Come back an hour later, sand, paint, clear, bada bing, bada boom, Bobby's your uncle, and you're done.
Right,
okay?
Because it looks the way it's supposed to.
Right. And in that time, that lacquer, which everybody goes, it's a bad substrate. It doesn't harden. It doesn't harden. It doesn't harden. Have you ever read the 2K ingredients on 2K and lacquer primer? It's the same goddamn things. They're the same goddamn material. You know what's added to 2K? There's another component inside of 2K that's a chemical that reacts to a hardener, which makes it hard. It's the only difference. That's the only difference. And you're paying a shitload more.
Well, I mean, usually it's supposed to be epoxy or urethane or something like that they use.
It's the same.
But yeah, you're right.
Basic chemical. It's the same product.
Yeah, it is.
Now, that's an unpopular belief. And there are a lot of guys that go, you don't know anything. It's 2025. You don't. It's all. I got people every day going, you don't know what you're doing, man. There's new ways to do this. Tell me, what happens if you don't sand a vehicle? Well, let's see. It peels up in just a few months. Doesn't take long. Has that changed since 1950? No, you still got to sand the car. So that's 1950. So I'm going beyond my 36 years into now 50 years of painting. So do we still use paint guns? Yeah. So that ain't changed. Is there chemicals that go in the paint? Yeah. That hasn't changed.
Do you use air?
Do you still use air from an air compressor to spray it out? Well, there's some airless stuff out there, but yeah, we all still have to do this. So the basics of it have never changed. What's changed? I can tell you exactly what's changed in the 37 years I've been in this industry about the chemical makeup of base coat. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing has changed in the chemical makeup of base coat. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. No, I'm not full of shit. Base coat is base coat is base coat is base coat. Yes. Some blend better. Some, have a closer color match. Yes. Sickens. I've gone over this until I'm blue in the face. Sickens has a formula for black. Is that same formula in Omni to make black? Oh, yes, it is. There's a formula in Omni. Is there a formula in Exalta for a black? Well, I call it brown, but yeah, they've got a formula too. Is there a formula in RM? Is there a formula in name any goddamn one of them you want that makes black? Well, yes. Are their formulas different? Yes. Here's how. Exalta has a brown that they want to call it a black, but we all know that it's a brown. It doesn't spray black. Now, you can argue that all you want. That just tells me you're a retarded helper that ain't never worked in the industry or sprayed it. Omni. Omni's the cheaper line. They have black, okay? And then they have white, and then they have a blue, okay? Now, Sickens, their formula, they have a shitload of black that goes all the way up to almost just about the top, which is why you're paying $700 a quart. You're stupid, but, and then comes white and a blue. Oh my God, what's the difference? The difference is the amount of pigment that they put in it. Now, everybody argues that. I argue this fact. You stupid applicators, and in case you guys can't realize, I'm calling you an applicator, that was the worst thing in the world to call someone in the painting industry because you're not a painter. You don't know how to fix your problems. You're an applicator. You know how to apply it. The lost art of learning how to blend a panel. And I watch you idiots all the time. I watch you fucking idiots all the time. You have Bodywork here. You prime out to fucking here. Like you've lost your fucking mind. Not even on a black. You're not even supposed to blend black. It's a panel paint. That's one of the only ones in the solvent world that you can panel paint just about. And so you prime out to here. You bring your base over to fucking here. There's nothing to blend. Right? In my day, you wanted to carry your primer out to here. You primed, waited for it to dry, flash off, prime again. Now you can go that way. You can go that way a shitload because there's a whole half of a fucking hood. But over here, no, you don't want to go past that line. And so then you carry your first coat here. You carry your second lighter coat here. By the time you get to here, you've got a very light coat. That's called blending. That's something that you children don't know how to do anymore.
When you talk about the 3 different coats that you apply, I don't think people understand that they put it on heavy when they first do it. And then by your second coat, it goes on a lot lighter. And then by the third coat, it's just a dusting. It's barely there.
Right. That's called a blend. And the applicators of today know nothing about it. Nothing. They know nothing about it.
I know. I've watched too many of them. When they do silvers, they'll spray down that wet bed first. Yep. And then they'll spray the entire panel and act like they've somehow done something. And
then they all go, well, here's the problem. I keep seeing it all over the place. The Toyota 1Q4, I think, or 1Q3. You guys are having a fucking fit with that. Like, y'all can't seem to grasp blending a goddamn fender. You think that you should just be able to paint the whole goddamn fender and it matches the door perfectly. Here's what you're never accounting for. The day this goddamn car rolls out of its manufacturing facility, it sits in the sun. So immediately UVs are killing that clear that's on it. And make no mistake about it, it's the cheapest clear that they bid it on to get, right? And so, which is why reds only last about a year before they start pinking out. Doesn't matter the manufacturer. And so you never take into consideration, I've got brand new paint here and here, and this is still brand new. Shit, the car's only 6 months old, but it's faded, you fucking idiot. It's faded. Okay? The more clear you put on the car, the darker it gets sometimes. Okay? Now, I don't care. You're going to go, he doesn't know. He doesn't. No, that's just the fact of it. Why? Because there's distortion. There's color distortion. There's eye distortion. There's all kinds of fucked up things. So instead of blending into the door, because it's going to cost you an extra, I don't know, $20 at worst in materials, you just want to panel paint it. And so you take your little spray out card and you put it right up against it and you go, yeah, that's a good match. Oh yeah, that's a good match. And you never consider that those cards, and don't act like you do. Don't act like you know, because you don't. That's cardboard. Those little cards are not metal. I say it all the time. Take those same things that we do. Take you one of these fucking pieces of metal, cut it, have yourself a real spray out card, and then lay that on there. You'll see the difference between the cardboard spray out that you do on your little cards that you're taping on your stupid little sticks, and you'll see the difference in the two. Metal lays down differently.
What about outside? Because I've seen some great matches inside.
Right.
But then when they pull it outside, the match is different.
Color. That Q14, that's one of them. Or Q1, Q3, whatever that Toyota.
And you solve that problem by blending.
You solve that problem by blending.
And that's the problem. I've seen too many people who have a panel and then they panel paint and call it blending.
Look, you walk up to me out in public and you go, man, you're a fucking applicator. I'll slap you. I'll open-handedly slap you. That's what kind of insult applicator means. It's not a thing that you should go, yeah, I am an applicator. That's right, motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Okay, so the teaching moment is done.
That was a great teaching moment, though. Good Time says, we need more people like JP that do great work for a fair price. Respect.
Get out of here, Bob. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Get the fuck on, man.
Candyman says, we have a Game Haven. It's a mom and pop game stop, but they don't have it. He was also saying that Game Haven has everything from original Atari to PS5. It's a game system. They sell it.
You know, you can buy an original 2600 Atari. You can buy them at Walmart now, man. They're like, I don't know, a couple hundred, maybe like $200, but they got all the games.
They're not the original games, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
They are the original. They got the original Pitfall. They got the original Gunslinger, the original tank games, stuff that you wouldn't know about.
I played those. Don't even.
Breakout.
Chris says lacquer primer is the best to use. It's fully cured in an hour, and then you can sand it.
Right. Unless it's like 30 degrees outside, then it might take a couple hours. Unless you got heat.
Jay says, what color is the vehicle going to be?
It's going back black.
Everett says, JP and Bondo Billy rock.
Thank you.
I love Bondo. I've been watching his latest videos about the blocks. And I am by no means a body woman because I'm just not. But come on, guys. If you've got one of those 16-inch blocks or it's a 2-foot long block, how are you gonna sand this curved hood? I mean, be so for real right now.
Well, Billy called him on that, and so he picked up his block and went, see, it's flexible. It's flexible.
That defeats the purpose.
That defeats the purpose of having everything, restoration, perfectly straight bullshit. I've been watching Billy, and I love how people do this. And I don't know if Billy has explained this or not, so I'm going to explain it. You can see where this kid who's selling these big blocks, this guy is what I love to call a shyster. He's a con guy, right? He takes his perfectly black vehicle, right? And Billy's got a picture of it. It's a pickup truck. And he's showing down the side of it. What people don't see is that there's a toolbox reflecting in the end of it. You know what that reflection does at the end of it with the toolbox? Because you see it, you don't see all of the waves that fucking goofball has in it. Billy sees it because that's why he's pointing it out.
Yeah, instead of it being perfectly straight in the video, it curved. And it was on the side of the panel, so it should have been perfectly straight.
Right. That he did. That this con artist did. And the whole purpose, by putting that toolbox behind it, taking a picture of it like he does, is an eye trick for people so that they don't see his waves going down the side of it from where his block is not. I mean,
it doesn't do what they claim. It's about the body, man. It's never been about the tool.
I've heard Billy explain this. I'm going to try to explain it too. See that?
Yeah.
See that, Ben? See the pressure I'm putting on that whenever I would hold it here?
Mm-hmm.
See how there's a gap right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that whenever you start doing it, you're pushing down, and so it conforms to the hood, right? Well, like Billy said, if your assumption is that you put just the perfect amount of body bondo on it, you should be able to make that straight, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. See that? Now watch. What's that? Does it look like it's touching it?
It might be, but not
now
all
look,
the time.
I've got my fucking hand on it, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the big kids' blocks. It's still missing it. The laws of physics. Now you start getting into the laws of physics. Oh, I don't know anything about physics. Sure I do. I'm just not a physicist that can explain it very well, but I understand it. But you see that, right? Your hand pressure, that's where, and this is what the old body men like Billy used to explain. Your hand on this is the pressure point. This is where it's going to go flat, right here. Why? Because your hand is right here pushing down on it. The sides in the front and in the back, they have a tendency to flex up when you're pushing down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Physics.
So that's why the old body men, whenever you grab their block and you start sanding, if they saw that you weren't doing it right, they pick up a stick and go right on the hand and go, yeah, that's put your whole hand over that block this way and go like this so that you're evenly smoothing the back, the front, and the middle. Not fucking up their body work by going into the high spots or creating high spots.
That's just common sense, honestly, when you think about it.
I'm not a body man by any ways and shape and form. I've said that from day one since I've opened my fucking business. But I know how body work is supposed to be, and Billy's it. Big boy jackass, he's a con man who wants to sell bullshit product.
You see way too much of that in this industry lately.
Right.
Way too much. Like they get online and they go, I'm the authority on everything. And then they go to the guy who has the most followers or who has the most engagement. And they go, this is a con. This is why. And here's my stuff. Buy it. Mine's the best, because they want attention. They just want attention. They want to use you to sell your stuff.
Right. And so this guy trolled Billy for like 3 months, I think, before Billy ever paid him any mind whatsoever.
Well, he used Bondo Billy in the video. I watched his video.
I said, that he did that for like a month or two before Billy went, all right, I've had enough of the bullshit. Because when he didn't pay him any attention, then the kid would get stupider and stupider and stupider the longer that the thing goes on. Hey guys, let's ask this question. You're a body man, and you've been doing it for 50 years. 45 years, I think he said. The guy who taught Billy to do this must have been doing that for 45 years. So between the two, he's got 90 years of knowledge. You come in as a body man and look at someone who's older than you, still doing body work at a high level, does it the way he wants to, because he's not after trophies anymore. He's not doing car, stuff that's going to SEMA because he's, Billy can do all of that. Billy's done all of that. Billy does the same thing I do. He makes money. He does what's happy. He does what
the less stressful work.
Along comes a dick-sucking asshole who goes, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I know more than that man who's been doing it for 45. Based on what? Because let me tell you something. The guys who build houses from 1923, the guys who built houses from 1945, all the way through to 2025, I'm pretty sure the guys in 2025 are probably using a little different materials, but I'm pretty sure that they're still building that foundation the same goddamn way since 1923. So the guys in 1925 are not going, oh, those guys back there are bullshit. They don't know anything. I've got a house that my grandmother built in 1923 from a barn that was built 2 years prior because, well, they needed a barn, but then she got married, and so they needed a house. They took the barn wood to build the house. Now, that house is falling in and decaying a little bit right now, but last I checked, it's still standing.
Well, see, that's the point. Everybody learns from the generation previous to them.
Right. And so
but the problem,
your bullshit to come in and go, I know more than that man's been doing it his whole life. Shut the fuck up.
Because your name is attached to somebody else. That's the problem. You get all up in your head like, oh, I know this person. They're known for excellence. Right. Therefore, I am excellence.
Right. Like I get people all the time that go, do you know blah, 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 blah. I learned from him. Never fucking heard of him. Don't. So what? And what part did that hurt your feelings that I don't give a shit who you learned from? I learned from Johnny Scott, the greatest man alive. Never heard of him. Who gives a fuck? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Oh, that's right. On social media, the thing to do is to riff, to aggravate, to make your bones off of taking someone who's doing something completely different that you don't know a goddamn thing about. And then you start trying to put them down. That way they dress, the way they look, the work that they do. You don't know a goddamn thing about me. You don't know a goddamn thing about Billy. You don't know a goddamn thing about this industry because you've been in it for like a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's like the old fable or whatever it is about the grapes. Like you can't reach a grape at the top of the vine, so therefore you tell everybody else it's an undesirable grape. You don't want it. It's bad. It's horrible. Because you couldn't reach it, because you can't do it.
Right. And it's been going on since history. Everybody knows who Genghis Khan is, right?
Yes.
Name his fucking children that took over after him.
I know it's another Khan, but I don't remember his name.
Because I'm pretty sure they lost the kingdom that he built.
No, I think it was like grandchild that did.
No, his children lost the kingdom that he built. Why? Because they were living off of his name that no one feared anymore. Because he was dead. Because he was a good fucking strategist of his day. His children were idiots. His grandchildren were even stupider.
Praxis says, you got to pay for the name, bro. Murica paint, meth, rods, stuff. It's a polyester world now. It's idiocracy.
It's always been a polyester world. And no, like I didn't even have an argument. I had a retard that came on one of my TikToks and said, I said that, I was showing that we use 3M red. Somebody said, well, how come you don't use Murica? Isn't it just as good? And so this guy comes on and goes, Murica's the greatest thing around. It's always been. So you don't know a goddamn thing. And that tells me you don't know a goddamn thing. Murica, European brand. Big over in Europe. Why is it big over in Europe? Because they didn't have 3M that covered the world at the time they were created. 3M, America. Why? Because it's created in America. And so it's an industry standard. Murica showed up here in America somewhere around the mid-90s, if I remember right.
Let's see. Jay says, was it a different process back then with lead in the paint?
No, there was never lead in the paint except for Imron. Imron was the only one, and I think still is the only one that has lead in the paint. No, I'm still doing stuff that I was taught back in 1986, 1987, 88, 89, 90, 91, all through the 90s.
Good Time says in 1986, we had a Ford that peeled. A factory used bad primer, I think. They got recalled. Do you remember?
Not in 86, but they did in 87, 88. They had the recalls. That's whenever they switched over from single stage into the base clear stuff. And I think they, at least what we were told from the paint manufacturer as well as the automotive manufacturer who did it, the Chevrolets and stuff, we were told that they were trying to kick out more vehicles to meet a need. And so they turned up the ovens and baked them shorter, thinking that it would cure the paint faster. And it did, but it didn't take into account the next process of clearing it.
You know what's funny? I've been reading a lot about that, about the chemical makeup and stuff. And with urethane and stuff like that, when it gets too hot,
right.
When it gets too hot, that's whenever it starts peeling. So like this clear right here, the reason why it started peeling is because it got too hot. The chemicals inside of it, it just reached its point over the years where it finally reached, like it got too hot. That's why it started peeling. Let's see. Frank Johnson says, you do a great job of painting. Pure dedication. Wish you lived near me. I have a couple of classic cars that need painting.
I appreciate it. And classic vehicles are not our thing because people expect too much out of them.
They're not. This is our thing. This is like a 2008.
This is a daily driver. I have a master sergeant who retired out of the Army. Master sergeant brought me his truck. At me telling him the whole fucking time, don't bring me the truck. I'm not the guy to do it. You don't want me to do it. I don't want to do it. He showed up here, and because I thought it was a half-assed joke that somebody would send me this and go, how much? So I gave him a stupid price of $3,500. That's my go-away price, right? And so he showed up the next fucking day.
Yeah, he did.
And he said, without even looking at it, I've had this boy paint several of my other vehicles. He said when I called him up on the phone, he told me he wanted $30,000. My wife
without even seeing it.
He said, my wife showed me your videos and said, take it to this guy. I thought he was kidding until he got here. When he got here, I went to my normal pricing. I think we charged him what, $800, $1,800, something like that.
I think 18 to 21. Somewhere around in there.
Somewhere around in there. And the whole time I kept telling Master Sergeant, you don't want to leave this with me, sir. And
we're going a shiny black on that one.
He's going shiny black. I still got a lot of work to do to it. And hopefully this summer we'll get to it and get it done. But, classic, same thing. I've got a 57 four-door Bel Air, which people go, oh, it's only a four-door. Well, you don't have one. I doubt you got anything in your yard better than a fucking Honda, so shut up. that this man has brought to me. I did the same thing to him. He just showed up and said, hey, man, I got this Bel Air. I want you to repaint it. I want you to do this. And it's got some, it is not by any means an ugly car. It's not all fucked up. Sorry, Sergeant Major. It's not fucked up like that truck. It's still got a lot of shiny shit on it. But it's got some scratches. It's got some rust that has come through it and stuff like that.
And it's just it's pastel. He wants pearl. He
wants a little darker metallic. So we're going to do that for him. But we try to stay mostly with this. Does it scare me to do the Master Sergeants? No. Does it scare me to do the 57? No. But I manage people's expectations. And we're not a restoration shop. I'm a daily driver, which means you're going to pull this bitch out in the sun. It's going to sit in your driveway where the raccoons, the trash pandas, the cats, the birds, everything are going to go on it and in it.
Yeah. Can you take it to your local car shows if you want to, though?
Yeah, if you wet sand at Buffalo, you absolutely can.
But that's not what we're after. We're just after giving people a nice ride for a cheap price.
Right.
And making money. People forget we make money.
Right.
Let's see. Praxis says, I mainly sprayed shellac and lacquer. I mix pigments.
So cabinetry.
I did cars years ago. Let's see. Desi says, any tips on rattling ABS plastics? I keep getting various size orange peel, also painting outside.
If you're doing it with a rattle can, you're just fucked. That's just the way it is. Wet sand and buff it. Beyond that, getting orange peel and stuff, use a paint gun and an air compressor because you're never going to get it as you want it with a rattle can.
Let's see. Everett says, I grew up doing bodywork and I learned it by mistakes 30 years ago.
I didn't want to do bodywork, but once I opened up, and I was petrified when I first went out on my own of like, oh God, somebody's going to ask me to do bodywork. What do I do? What do I do? And so somebody, sure enough, a car dealer had something, and I went, well, I think I can, but it ain't going to be perfect. And so he went, I don't give a shit, make it better so I can sell it.
Yeah.
I got to practice a lot on junker cars from dealers and stuff. And so I don't cut, I don't weld, I don't switch out parts. What I do is...
And we don't align panels. Yeah.
Small dents, small dings. I don't align panels. Well, that's because you can't. Yes and no. When you buy an aftermarket hood, I don't give a fuck who you are. It ain't never going to align the same way an OEM does. So that's one reason why I don't align panels. The second reason is that the older the vehicle gets, the weaker that the hinges get. And so the hinges won't hold the alignment. Doesn't matter.
Especially them old heavy metal doors.
Right.
And the new hinges they want to replace it with.
Right. The aluminums.
Let's see. Good Time says, JP, yes, it was an 87 F-250 truck. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know what that meant.
They might not be popular in Virginia because there's not very many trucks that run around up there.
Right.
Let's see. Mike Potter says, after getting quoted $24K to paint my 1978 F-150, I rattle canned it. That's how much I cared.
Right.
Exactly. People think you're looking to take your truck out to SEMA and they feel like they're going to get one up on you.
Here's the big thing. People love to go on my TikTok pages, right? And I'm going to go back to mocking them as closely as I can. You don't do stuff for SEMA. Have you seen what's happened at SEMA in the last 5 years? Have you seen the retards that are pushing cars in, tightening up bolts, and then whenever the SEMA inspector shows up and just goes, boom, the whole fucking fender falls down? Or they raise the fucking hood and can't get the engine started? Have you seen the shit that is in SEMA? I mean, shit, you might as well tape a fucking paint gun to a bunny rabbit and let him go to SEMA. He'll do better work. Don't talk to me about going out to a shit show, because if you've got the money for their booth, you can't earn your way in. Doesn't matter what you do. It used to be you had to earn your way in. You had to have X amount of trophies, at least one car in a mag, and then you had to know what you were fucking doing, okay, at SEMA. Now, that was 20 plus years ago. Nowadays, you fork out the fucking money because nobody cares about you. There's nothing new coming out at SEMA. You fork out the fucking money. I can take my fucking piece of shit Tahoe out there. I just pay them the money and I can pull it right in and go, this is a SEMA build. They don't give a fuck. I watched it this year. There's nothing out there. Nothing.
Not to mention, you could give yourself awards and you could create magazines nowadays because magazines aren't published anymore. You could just go, I'm a magazine, and then start just taking.
I personally have had over 25 cars rated by Jay's magazine. Greatest painter in America, if not the world. I've got the trophies to prove it. Who the fuck cares?
Voted #1 paint shop in America by Jay's magazine.
I get the fucking retards that go, that panel's got a big wiping. Daily driver, restoration. Who pays more and who wants more out of what they're paying for? But of course, unless you're using Big Kig's block, then in which case you might as well bring the fucking car to me.
Yeah, we could do better work.
That guy's a jackass. I'll charge you the same amount of money if you want. I'll just take it up there to Billy and let a real body man do it.
Mike Potter says, after getting... Oh, wait, I already read that one. Sorry. Let's see. Zayden says, do you single stage or base coat, clear coat? Which is better?
I don't single stage. I base clear everything.
Do you like single stage or base coat? Sorry, I read that one wrong.
No, I don't like single stage over base coat. I like base coat because it's always more durable.
And I think single stage actually still costs more.
Yeah, it's probably more. I think it was used to be like $75 to $100 more. I think now it's like $50 more.
Let's see. I know you do good work. Do you offer any warranties?
No, I don't offer warranties. Not in the least. I don't plan on my cars failing. And that's exactly what it is. I offer a warranty. What they're really saying is, I'm a shyster. My shit's going to fail. But I offer a warranty I'm not going to honor. I see that all too often.
Warranties make you feel all warm and fuzzy, but they don't actually mean anything because no one actually honors it.
You want to know what a warranty is? Go watch
Tommy Boy.
Go watch Tommy Boy. They tell exactly what warranties are.
Mm-hmm.
Make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside till the glue sniffer comes around, man, and he's chasing your daughter in her bedroom.
Let's see. Concealed Carry says, I love Bodywork, but I hate PDR.
I hate PDR too. I don't like Bodywork.
Aline says, hi from Columbia, South Carolina.
Hey, Columbia, South Carolina.
C. Mart says, SEMA is overrated.
It is. And so is Barrett Jackson. Barrett Jackson ain't what it used to be either. Same thing.
No.
Pay them the money.
You just need enough money nowadays to do anything you want. C says, concealed PDR is awesome. I think it is awesome. But that doesn't mean it's fun, kind of awesome to do.
It's not fun for me. It's not awesome for me.
Dr. Death says, that is the truth, LOL. Aftermarket never really lines up perfectly because they don't make them correctly.
Right. It's a mold. It's a best guess mold. That's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. A hood's a hood. But it's going to stick over a little longer, or it's going to be a little more to the left, a little more to the right. Doesn't matter what you do.
Let's see. Candyman says SEMA is all about the vendors now, not the cars.
Right. Like a whore down in Houston, sucks enough dick, pays enough money, spits out 4 or 5 more kids for 6 different guys. You get whatever you want. She's proven that.
Isaac says, what grit sandpaper do I use on bare metal before I start applying primer for a dash?
I mean, a dash? Well, I don't know. Probably 180. If it's out of the car, you can 180 it. Guys, it's all about how thick you want to spray your primer. It's up to you. 180 used to be the standard, but I've got kids crying, I have to use 320. Yeah.
Let's see. Weapon Collector says, you're full of bull, mate. I'm the boss around here. That's a fact.
Weapon collector in Australia? Yeah, you're not a weapon collector because your government owns every aspect of your little bitch ass. What kind of weapons do you collect? Kangaroos? I'm scared now.
Let's see. What's this old fart talking about?
This old fart has fucked your mother more times than you can count. And your wife keeps begging for it too.
Let's see. Good Time says most people would love to have this service if they knew or was available for the cost to make their car nice again. Most body shops have people believing that it's $10K and up for paint jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, settle this debate for me, guys. Settle this debate for me. Dad thinks with a T-shirt that if you put $400 paint jobs on there, right, that it won't drag in any attention. Even if the guy who's wearing it is up in Maine or whatever, he's going to see $400 paint job and he's not going to really care about that because that doesn't affect his daily life.
Because he's going to go in and look at it and see that we're in Texas, and then he's going to go, motherfucker.
Right, but it's going to drag his attention and he's going to see us on social media, which is why I would put it on shirts.
Media anyway, because I'm the dickhead that tells all the body shops they're stupid.
Right, but if I put on a shirt and it's just his face saying something mean, people are going to laugh at it and they're going to go, that's funny, but they're not going to look into it. But seeing a shirt that says $400 paint jobs on it, do you think would you look into that? Would you actually go online or would you blow it off?
We do have the capability and we'll be coming out with our own line of t-shirts here in the next few days.
Yeah, and I'll post up links on everything.
We'll post up links in the bio. Some of it will say that, like, I fucked your mother. What are you going to do about it, bitch?
Let's see. J Kid says, good to know. How much more do you charge to wet sand and buff?
I don't.
Concealed Carry says, what do you think about water-based paint?
I think it's a pain in the ass, and I think it's been troubled since 1990 whenever California started using it, and they still haven't worked out the problems across the nation.
Gorilla says hi.
Hi, Gorilla.
Good Time says, Tommy boy, I could stick my head up a cow's butt, but I'll take the butcher's word for it. Exactly. I didn't really understand that until I've started running my own business. Then I understood more of that Tommy Boy movie and just how real it is.
Right.
Let's see. Johnny says, I understand that one must master their art. However, having a good mentor makes a big difference. Did you have a mentor?
No, I had drunks. I had drunks who I had fights with, people that would throw paint guns at me. I didn't stay there for very long because I beat the shit out of a drunk who threw a paint gun because he was mad at me, blaming me for something that they did, like a run. Mentors are overrated. What do you need mentoring for? What is in this fucking world that you need to be mentored about? Not stealing, not selling drugs, not doing drugs, not drinking alcohol, not killing innocent people. And you kill people, just they got to be, you don't want to kill innocent people. Painting cars. You don't need a mentor. You need to learn to shut your fucking mouth and just watch people. Ask a question, but it doesn't have to be a mentorship.
No, I think you're right. What's the point of a mentorship? It doesn't make any sense.
You're a grown-ass man. If you have a desire to learn something, then learn it. Guys who operate weapons at a high level, like not only can they shoot the shit out of you from 100 yards away, they didn't have a mentor. They had somebody who told them how to do what they were doing. If you notice, if you're not smart enough to figure out what the guy's trying to teach you, they go, boop, they kick you out, which means only 1% of the smart people that can adjust, that go, oh, so I need this math in correlation with the rotation of the earth, meaning this far out. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's not a mentorship. That's teaching. There's a difference between teaching and mentor. Mentor means that I pull my titty out, you hang on to it, and then follow me around, which is just stupid. Okay? I'm not a mentor. I can teach, we're going to have to take this hood down, like I said in the beginning of this. So learn the difference between mentorship and teaching. Just be smart enough to do what you want. I've caught a lot of flack because people go, he's wrong about telling people in this industry. He's sour. He doesn't like. No, I told people, be a grown-ass man about something or a woman. If it's something you want to do, then fucking learn it. Doesn't matter what anybody says. Because there are a lot of people out there that will tell you, you're not smart enough. I never said that. You ask me what I think about this industry, I tell you, get the fuck out of it. Go do something better. Go do something smarter. If your capabilities are limited by your fucking mental capabilities because you're a moron, then yeah, this industry is just fine. But don't walk into it thinking people give a shit about your feelings. They don't. They don't give a shit about your feelings. That died with your mom and dad.
And nobody is going to mentor you in this industry.
Right. Nobody's going to mentor you. They'll answer questions, but no, you're not hanging off our tits, following us around, breastfeeding like you need something.
Let's see. T says good morning.
Good morning.
US Ball says I was here last weekend.
Okay.
Is this a weekend?
No, it's Friday.
Is it?
Yeah, today's Friday.
Let's see. C says I double tap the screen.
Okay. What does that mean?
Good Time says, I think it will help get the word out for sure. If anything else, it will expose the body shops, JP. Yes, that's the other thing that I want. If you got a shirt that says $400 paint jobs on it, and so then people are going to look it up, or they're going to be like, there's guys out here that paint stuff for $400, then they're going to go to their local big body shop who tells them $8,000 to paint this little tiny like Nissan Altima. And so they're going to be like, but there's a guy who does it for $400. Why are you? And so it puts pressure on other body shops, which it already has been.
It already does. It already does. It really does.
Especially now that a lot of insurance work is going to the wayside.
To Makos.
Not just to Makos, but I watched a guy who was talking about an Allstate claim that he filed, and they charged, this guy got $20,000 because he had a few extra things that he wanted the shop to do, but they basically painted his whole front clip as well as his passenger door to the bed.
Truck guy?
Yeah. Did you see that
guy
one?
with a beard and
Yeah.
stuff?
Did you see that one?
He's a bitch.
He is absolutely. He is absolutely. But I was like, they charged him $20,000 for all the little stuff that he got. So I understand why he was upset for $20,000. But it was also an Allstate claim. And then I was just reading through all the comments, and other people on there like, Allstate doesn't want to pay for this. Allstate doesn't want to pay for that. They want this in your insurance.
Right.
And so I know it's not just Allstate. I know it's a lot of other insurance companies too.
A lot of insurance work, the body shops get blamed for, and truly it's not their fault. But since they all want to come after me and act like little bitches, I blame them because they're dick sucking little bitches.
Oh yeah, there's a wasp. Don't you have the can of Raid out here?
Don't I have what?
Yeah, you have the can of wasp spray out here. But now he's gone.
He's not going.
Let's see.
Yeah, you know what's coming, don't you, bitch? Get away from my car. Yeah. I've been watching The Warrior. Oh yeah, cool. Come on, baby. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Seawood says, this is my favorite soap opera. I look forward to seeing you guys online. Seawood, you found us on YouTube.
Do we have a soap opera? We don't have soap opera.
It's like a soap opera. You daytime TV. US Ball says, you look like an egg.
I look like an egg that your mama shoves in her.
Ew. That's just too much for me.
I bet you're a kid, aren't you?
Let's see. Otto says, can I see your boob so I can hang off of it? That's how you make the judgment. Let's see. Is that a do-rag or a turban?
Call me Arab one more time, motherfucker. I'll jump through the phone to get you.
Let's see.
I have a hatred of Arabs beyond
Muslims.
Beyond
around here in Indiana, man, you can't get a deal. You can't get a deal throughout the rest of America, if you're being honest. You can't. Do you own a microwave?
Do I own a microwave?
What is this, one of those things where like it's running away from us?
I don't know. You get retards all the time on both platforms, apparently.
Giant Cat says, see him weave that wasp. He knows his martial arts.
Fucking man.
Good Time says, I use the handheld bug zapper for bees. Works great. Never used that. A little nervous too. I feel like if I hit them, they would just... We're in Texas though. These Texas bees are something else. They're like, oh, you slapped me?
Like wasps in Northern Virginia, they're like in your face going, fuck you, I'm stinging you, fuck you. Yeah. But down here, wasps are like, hey man, what's happening? Like, you got some more that we...
I had one that landed on my shoulder and then he flew off and landed on something else. I'm like, dude. Oh, there ain't nothing in that. Oh, you just made him mad.
Where'd he go?
He flew out.
You got a taste of it.
Candyman says, LOL, days of our paint shop. Let's see. Strike God says, Grandpa.
I got your grandpa, bitch.
James says, hello from Michigan.
Hey, James.
Julian says, hi.
Ho. Who wants to go?
Are you going to do any more work?
Yeah, I keep trying to, but you keep asking.
I'm not
questions.
asking any more questions.
Good. Go inside.
I'll get you a Mountain Dew.
Set that up there.
What?
This is a station break. We will be back momentarily after you hear a few words from our sponsor.
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew.
Alrighty then.
It's not cold though.
Oh fuck! I didn't have any. It was cold.
Nope. At least you knew that and you weren't mad at me.
Yeah, I forgot to put one in there this morning. Took one out for breakfast. Still sitting on my side, unopened bed.
All right, let's see. I gotta go through here. Brake cleaner for the bees. So, brake cleaner doesn't work.
No, because it's not truly brake cleaner anymore, but
Not like it used to be.
it also causes fisheye.
Yeah, truthfully, that
So
stuff
does
causes
Raid,
fisheye.
too, but
So we try not to spray it on the car.
you know, there's cold water in the fridge though.
I don't want cold water. Let's see. Big Daddy says, stay strong. Do what you love. Don't feed the trolls.
I have to feed the trolls, man. That's what makes the channel grow. Gives me satisfaction.
Also, when I ask questions and it's asked in a stupid way, the dad has usually the best responses for that.
Right. We're still trying to figure out how to make the t-shirts.
We are, but we're going to get them. So this was covered up
With a bra.
with a bra.
Yeah, bra.
Probably because they started getting those rock chips and then covered it up. But if anything, it looks like it caused a little bit of cracking and separation to start happening. These aren't chips. These are little
Microfractures.
yeah, those are little micro cracks that are in there. So it has to be removed. So the bra didn't actually stop anything. It just stopped the peeling, but it still was going to peel.
Moisture and stuff getting underneath of it, holding it there and ruining the paint usually.
It can rust it.
Right. Who's got questions? I've got answers.
Nobody for right now. Let me pull out my other phone. Maybe we could put on
You're going TikTok, aren't you?
yeah, if you could be
Alright.
nice for TikTok.
All right. You think I've been nice for
Yeah, actually. You just can't say retard as much.
Yeah, I gotta remove that from my vocabulary.
Let's see, which one should I go live on? Master Painter?
45,000 one.
Okay.
See if we
JP Auto
can get that one up to
Paintworks.
48. Because you know the biggest one stayed at 48,000 for like a year and a half.
Yeah, it took
2 years.
forever, but now we're at 58, almost 59 on that one.
Yeah, we're at 58.9. We're getting ready to flip the number to 59,000. Oh, that's pretty. Okay.
Yeah, we're at 45.1.
So
Oh, the video I posted yesterday went up to 14,000. I wasn't expecting that.
if you were watching me, then you know that what I was doing right here, I was working in a box. Okay.
Say that again. Sorry.
I was working within a box when I was sanding this. That's the key to things. Don't jump from here up to here, okay? Because you'll miss stuff, like you'll miss chips or you'll miss a dent or something like that. Box off your stuff. Just do it in a little box so that you can pay attention to what's going on. That's
Okay.
all. That's part of my knowledge.
Knowledge. I posted up the video.
I gotta shave this motherfucker.
I posted up the video a while ago of you sanding
Right?
versus the side that I sanded. And people are like, and I still don't know how you sand so much faster than I do.
That's a shitty one.
It is.
That is a finishing DA. This is a adult size DA for adults. That one is for finishing, you know, like 400 in the side of a car.
It's for little kids. Are you trying to tell me that I'm using a little kid DA?
I am.
The Cowboy Fireman says, "Morning, JP. How's it going?"
Good morning, Cowboy Fireman. Yeah! That dude's a rodeo guy in Colorado.
And he's sponsored.
And he's sponsored. He's a Rhodean. A Rhodean? Rhodean.
Rodean. That's not a thing.
Rodeoian. Rhodean.
Rodean.
He rides horses and shit.
Let's see.
Pissed off horses. He rides pissed off horses. What the fuck are you doing?
I want to set this up here, but I need to move some of your stuff out of the way.
Well, then just simply use your words, like I taught you.
I was trying to formulate brain knowledge.
I taught your sister, use your fist over words. But I taught you, use your words.
Now I got to flip it around.
Gotta flip it on around, baby.
There we go.
Oh, wait, did you flip it?
It's flipped.
It's flipped. Pissed off paint job, baby.
Cowboy Fireman says, "LOL, man, I miss these lives. I've been on deployment for fire."
Holy shit. Oh, yeah, that's right. Your state's on fire. Mine was on fire last year. It was pretty close around here, too.
We've been getting nothing but rain though, so we're not on fire anymore.
Yeah, we're nothing. Yeah, we've gotten a shit ton of rain. But give it a couple of weeks. I'm sure somebody will catch something on fire.
Well, glad you're back. Glad you're all in one piece.
Yep, glad you're safe.
Because that's rough.
That is. That's real rough. I had friends that I grew up with that were firefighters and stuff like that.
Let's see. Ben says, "What's up, JP?"
What's up?
Do you DA everything to bare metal?
That's probably what you're looking at.
Bare metal.
Oh no. No, that would be stupid. Like the sides are all good. If you see that, the sides are all good. So all you need to do is 400 it.
They are actually great shape.
Paint, we'll stick to it. Hey, what time is it?
9:47.
Okay.
You have customers supposed to show up at 10?
We got two that are supposed to show up at 10. Let's see if they do. Stay tuned on today's exciting adventures of dun, dun, dun.
Will they show up? Cowboy fireman said, "No, my state isn't on fire. I got deployed to Canada."
Oh shit. Let Canada burn, man. I wouldn't even drink so much as a fucking soda to piss on anything in Canada. The Canadians up there are such bitches.
Dad really hates Canadians.
I really hate Canadians.
Hey, we're on TikTok too.
I get so much hate from Canadians.
Not
And I can't figure out why. You're in a third world country. You live in a third world country. You don't live in America. Your fight's not with me. Your complaint is not with me. I don't set your pricing. Your stupid Canadian EPA does.
Let's see. Andre says hi. Too legit to quit. Says hello.
Hello.
Johnny says happy Memorial Day.
Hey, is it
Memorial Day? YouTubians, is it Memorial Day? Let's see. Don Ho said, "Take that Canada, get effed." I know, right?
I mean that. There's no part of me that likes it. Like Alaska sits here, Canada is kind of like along here. I'd go over to fucking the Alps in Switzerland, go to Russia just to come over to Canada or come over to Alaska before I ever went straight through to fucking Alaska.
Canadian land. Let's see. Cowboy fireman says, "LOL. Well, I worked like a Mexican, so I busted my butt off. LOL."
So you were drunk most of the time while you were working.
Oh, now you're just being mean. Let's see. US Ball says, "You're not the sharpest tool in the shed, but you might be the loudest."
I am definitely the sharpest tool in the shed. You just don't like it because you got the brain power to match it. What you want to ask? What you want to ask? Go ahead. Now,
let's see.
Before you do this, I want you to understand. I was raised by a physicist. There's a difference between the way I act and what I actually know. So go ahead. What's your question, Shit from Brains?
Cowboy fireman says, "No, it's on Monday."
Yeah.
Memorial Day is Monday.
This is Labor Day weekend.
I didn't know that.
All
Let's
the
see.
vets out there, I'm sorry. And I mean that. That's not sarcastic. And they know why.
That's true. Let's see. Cowboy says, "Hey, how did you know?" I was drunk the whole time. Let's see. Jester says, "JP is hilarious."
I try to be. What's the point of being so serious all the time? Then you turn into the Joker, a sociopath.
Let's see. Daniel says, "Hi, I'm new here."
Hi. If you have feelings, you want to leave.
If you have feelings. Victor says, "Is this a Nissan?"
Yeah, this is an Altima.
No, that says Chevy.
No, we're not going to be smart ass because they were all looking at a Corvette one time going, "I'm a car guy. That's a Nissan." So we took them around to the back where it spelled out Corvette. And I went, "Yeah, you're right. Nissan."
Let's see. Chevy, $400. What a joke.
Chevy, $400? No, this is an Altima. It's $500. But you're still a bitch.
Actually, we're doing this one for free.
We don't tell people that.
Well, I just told people that. So I guess we do tell people that. You don't tell people that.
She's a nurse. She lost a patient, a child. And so I'll do it for free. Say anything bad about it, you live around me, I'll come kill you.
No, we won't because we're on TikTok. Jason says, JP Auto Paint Work, blow me. Not sure why you want that.
I'm sorry, I'm a little...
You got a thing for Dad?
What?
Jason says, JP Auto Paint Works, blow me.
Blow you. Okay. I don't think I have... I don't think you have... You have to have a dick first, dude.
Jesse says, how does someone get on the schedule for a paint job?
They drop off their vehicle and wait for 5 months. Because there are a shitload of vehicles out here ahead of you.
There are. Chevy says, you must get your materials for free.
I do. I get them all for free. Now what? Does that anger you worse? I can only hope.
Let's see. Allie says, my gallon of clear costs $550.
And you're bragging about that. You know how stupid you sound to real shop owners, right? Right? You understand how stupid you sound.
Let's see. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
JP seems like he would be fun to be with in a Call of Duty lobby.
I am. I'm pretty fun in a Call of Duty. Modern Warfare, number 3.
Let's see. I Heart Baseball says, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Cowboy says, no, it's a Toyota, LOL. Who's behind the camera? His daughter. Maybe shut up and get to work. Now he's walked away. Shut up and get to work.
I know. There's all kinds of brave boys on the internet.
Smile more. You'd be pretty. No one said that. I said that. You guys are entertaining as hell. I'm subscribing. That's from Jester. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jester.
He is very entertaining. Mostly just to look at, though.
Allow me to entertain you today.
Let's see. User 89 says, bad work.
Bad work?
Get back to work.
Oh, get back to work. Is it bad work?
No, he said bad work.
Oh, okay. Sure. Well, go ahead and tell me what's bad. Go ahead. I'll listen to you explain, and then I'll put you in your place. Go ahead.
XO says, how many cars does JP paint? How many cars a day does JP paint?
I can paint somewhere between none of, your fucking, and then business. I don't get into that with people.
How many, if we had a whole bunch prepped up, how many things would you get?
Over in Springtown, whenever we had the shop size, we were doing somewhere around 7 or 8 a day, easily. Or a week. A day, if I get them prepped up, probably 3.
You know, in an ideal world, it takes him about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to paint a car this size. 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So if he had a unlimited supply of cars to paint in one day that were all overs, how many do you think you could do?
At least 12. I used to do 12 to 13 at Mako in Raleigh, Fredericksburg, in Northern Virginia, in Springfield, Virginia.
I know that's unfathomable to some people.
And Richmond.
But he's talking about all overs. He's not talking about painting half the door or half the side of the vehicle. It's an all over. It's an extremely intensive, labor-intensive thing to do.
Not really.
Yeah, it really is.
And I'm 56.
Keel says, hey, you've been working out or what? Looking good. Thanks for making paint jobs affordable.
Hey,
I know, his shirts don't fit like he used to.
to.
Dad's getting so skinny. He's getting so tiny.
I am.
Let's see. What else we got?
Who we got?
There's a lot on here. I skipped
On
a few.
YouTube?
Yes. I Heart Baseball says, I subscribed. Joseph
Thank
says,
you.
sheesh. Josh says, what color are you going to paint your car?
This is going back black. This is not ours.
This is a customer's car.
It's customers' cars.
Let's see. M says, I want to see you work. You're awesome at what you do. I learn a lot here.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Right now, we're taking a hood that looks like this and stripping it down like this. This has to come off. It cannot stay.
Why does JP sound like the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob? I'm not complaining, but I thought it was funny. It's from Cowboy.
I don't know her.
Let's see. What color is he going to repaint the car? Wait, did I already answer that one?
Black.
US says, I'm not hating. I'm just trying to get him to cuss me out because it's funny. He can't cuss out anybody because we're on TikTok. I had to turn around and see him.
I think you're a wild monkey.
You want to be called a tool bag?
Who plays with his penis that doesn't have one. How's that?
That's so random. When are y'all going to be building a bigger paint area? Would it be hard to paint the bottom of the sides?
Bottom and sides of what?
Would be hard to paint the bottom of the sides.
Of what?
You mean leaning over?
Your mom all the time.
You don't think Dad has enough space right there to be able to lean over?
Put my ass cheek right here. See that?
He gets in the groove.
And then we go down to the next groove. See my asshole? It felt that groove, baby. I get in just fine.
But we are building a bigger one soon.
We are building a bigger one. It's been a rough winter. In case you guys don't know.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
In case y'all don't know, we've got flooding. We went from being
Drought.
drought, desert-like conditions out here for 4 years, into being damn near flooded out in about 5 days' time.
Yeah.
And so if we're not fighting the wind, the rain, and the hail, we're fighting the wind at 60, 70 mile an hour.
Let's see. What brand of paint do you use?
Minimus paint line. That's mine.
Josh says, I used to do body work for a living. Do you cut body panels out and re-weld new ones?
Nope.
We do not. We are a production shop, which means
I do small dents and dings. I don't do welding.
we take the mofos that look like
I'm
that.
not setting cars on fire.
There you go, USA.
USA. USA. USA.
Glenn says, I see now. It didn't look that wide. It is not that wide whenever bigger vehicles are in here. It's
Right.
actually
When
much
there's
more
a
narrow.
Suburban or a pickup truck in here, it is not that wide.
Lord, heaven help us whenever we get the little tiny, what is that, Miata that's in here. Then it's like, this is like a little
That's what I
Matchbox
said.
car.
We've had nothing but a large vehicle in here for so long. When we pulled this in, I went, God damn, we got a Matchbox?
Brandon says 2015 GMC Sierra, 4-door price.
$800 unless it's red or peeling all the way around, then it's more.
Is there any way to schedule a drop off without dropping it off?
Sure, you can schedule the drop off, up to a day ahead of time, and then we'll take it.
Anthony says, are you sanding E-coat?
Yeah, there is some there.
Jay Skip says, what's up?
What's
Jack says, you're the best. I wish I was closer to you.
I'm not the best. I'm just pretty good.
Let's see. Anthony says, ours is $800 list price. We get it at $400 for clear.
You're paying $400 for clear. Answer me this. What state are you in? Let's answer that one first.
I'm waiting.
We're waiting.
I'm waiting.
See, you're bragging about paying $400, or maybe you're bitching. I couldn't tell. But either way, what state are you in? You've caught JP on an extremely good day.
He's being nice.
I can help you.
I'm at the bottom of the text. I was up about 40 high, but no one has responded yet.
As much as I hate Lawrence over at this company, as much as I hate him, this clear has a higher UV rating than DuPont, PPG, and almost Sikkens. Not quite at Sikkens level, but it's only a few points below it. So I consider that to be good. Why is that important, John? Why in the fuck do I need to know that? Because UV rating is what protects your paint job from UV rays, which are what kills the pigmentation and kills the clear. So, ergo, it's better.
Let's see. Real shops on there. No, you can't paint a car for $500.
Real shops. Based on what? I'm a real shop. I know you don't like that, but I'm in Texas, and I've been in Virginia, North Carolina, and now Texas. I've had a real shop for 14 years. It doesn't matter what you think is a real shop. It really doesn't. You don't have a paint booth. Sure I do. It's just a blow-up paint booth. I got it right over here. And that's allowed in every fucking state except for California. By the way, dick sucker good guys.
Allie says, just saying, I won't be sanding the flakes away like that hood in a couple of years.
Oh, sweetheart, I didn't sand. Let's answer that. You know, here's something good that I want to show some special people. Here, scoot over there.
Let's flip the camera around so we can get all up in it.
Let's do this. Everybody's so panicked about, oh, you're cutting the heads off the flakes. First of all, they were in pretty deep. Second of all,
you are not going to be able to cut a flake.
Yeah.
If that's your goal. You can only grind them. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. You can only grind them. They're so small.
Anyway, you can't cut the head off of a flake and it comes up silver. It doesn't matter what you say. I showed that car up close and personal after we cleared it. You guys cried like a bitch. I do it all the time on the rainbow flake. And in fact, right after I 600 it, and you guys were going, you're going to see the 600 scratches, they're going to show. I stood right out there in the yard, and you could see the mirror reflection that I had of my hand and my face and the sky and the trees that are across the road in that Caprice.
Agreed.
Now look, since you don't shoot flake, next time just say, hey man, I've never shot flake and I don't know what that means.
Well, he wasn't. See, that's how you know he's not in this industry, because I think that he was actually talking about this hood and how it's peeling. It's actually not flaking. No part of this is flaking off, which is how you know he's not actually in this industry, which is why he brags about $550 for his clear.
Oh.
Yeah, so you went on the flake rant, but this mofo is talking about it's clear.
Real shops can't do it at $500. Actually, you know what's sad and pathetic? I had one of you, and I mean no disrespect to her, because I think she follows us and she learns from us and she does what,
Yeah.
She knows.
She's a real shop.
She recognizes someone who's got an understanding of how this industry works. But she said, I own a restoration shop and I absolutely can do $400, $500, $800 paint jobs. I choose not to. Now, so far, she's got the biggest balls I've ever seen of any man in this industry. And I mean that with no disrespect at all, because she came right out and said what no one else will say is that she just chooses not to. And I don't find fault with that. That's between her and her customers. If she stays busy and is doing what she wants, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, there are way too many shops out there that go, I can't do it. But the reality is you can. You choose not to. So just be honest with customers.
Right. Don't be a bitch. Get you some balls, okay? Get your balls, because unless you're like 11 and your balls ain't dropped yet, get your balls, stand up like a real man, or we'll come take your man card, because we all know you're a bitch, and just say, I don't want to. I could, but I don't want to.
Dan says, I'm from Romania. We use standox.
Okay.
That's cool. Josh says, well, that's why they make spot welders for LOL, so you don't burn a panel.
Yeah, you don't work in this industry either.
The cowboy says, JP, having a good day. No wonder I had a tornado last night. Cody says, how much to paint me? I'm not UV rated. It could use a permanent protection. I feel like that could have been dirty, but I read it anyways.
I don't know. I painted your mother and your wife. What do you want?
Let's see. Cowboy says, oh no, JP's on a roll. That car looks like it sat in the sun for a while, LOL. It did.
It's a daily driver. Why wouldn't it?
Man, I wish you were closer to PA.
I used to be in Fredericksburg, and we were getting people from Pennsylvania.
We were Philadelphia, to be exact. 2009 Kia Sorento.
It's $900. 500 Sorrento.
That's the car. I think that's the car.
$500.
Offshore says, hey, bro, thinking about bringing mine to you. How much for a 2005 Yukon, just for a single color and then adding red flake to it?
Probably $1,000, $1,200. Give us pictures of it on Facebook.
Let us know what kind of flake you want. There is actually two different ways of doing that. So if you just want a little bit of flake in the clear, we don't need to re-clear twice. But if you want so much flake that you can't actually see the color underneath of it, then we have to re-clear twice.
Just let us know. Send us pictures of it on JP Auto Paintworks on Facebook.
Pirate Printing says, what's a good reasonable priced air gun for 2K clear and high build primer?
I don't know. Harbor Freight, $15.
It doesn't matter what, like, a difference between the materials that you use. The only thing is the head size. It's not so much the gun that makes the difference, really.
My 1.4 spray nozzle, one for $15.
Laylo says, love your paint jobs. Awesome work.
Thank you, Laylo.
That's nice. Let's see. He has the most modern state-of-the-art facilities in Texas. That's from Tim.
Oh, Tim, did I put your business out? Are you now somebody else's bitch? Is that what it is? Are you mad? You sound mad. Maybe you should go home and seek a hug from your cat.
Let's see. East DJ says, hey, my brother, I'm in Beaumont, Texas, 5 hours away. I got an 06 Infiniti G35 and an 06 Acura.
Send us pictures of it on JP Auto Paintworks on Facebook. It takes 5 months to do from drop off to pick up. No, there's no way to get it in a queue and wait.
What's your location, please?
Runaway Bay, Texas.
Is Sickens paint as good as Minimus paints?
Oh, yeah. Sickens is good.
Minimus is better.
Minimus is cheaper. It's better. It's cheaper.
A lot cheaper. I pay $89 on eBay.
Okay.
Jaden says, how much for a 78-foot Riviera boat?
No. Probably $2,000.
How much for a 2013 F-150 with a camper? I wanted a dark brown.
I don't do them. You got a camper on it, I'm not interested.
Will you paint a work truck with a service bed?
Sure.
Really? You'll paint the service bed?
Yeah.
I thought we weren't doing those anymore.
The service, is it a flatbed? Because service bed means that there's doors and shit open to them.
Let's see. How's the new shop coming?
It isn't, because we're still getting 90-mile-an-hour winds, tornadoes, hail, and rain.
E36 says, can you spray single stage?
I can, yeah.
Dirty Sock says, hey, I'm the tool bag.
Yes, you're the tool bag. You're daddy's little tool bag. Calm down.
Let's see. James says, why are you sanding the bonnet all the way down? What was wrong with it? Are you seriously asking that? Like you're not able to visually see the screen that you're on and see where it's actually peeling?
Well, first off, you fucking idiot. It's not a bonnet. It's called a hood. See, a bonnet, that's something that women used to wear over their, jawline, their faces and stuff like that. That was a bonnet. Go watch Little House on the Prairie. Those are called bonnets. This is a hood. I'm almost hating the UK as much as I do Canada.
I know. I hate their names for stuff. It's so, and I can't say the word, it's G-A-Y.
He's a wig. What do you want? Little wig's going to run around.
Willie says, I painted my own truck and the paint cost me $1,800. Worst decision ever.
Yeah.
That's pretty expensive.
That's pretty bad.
Let's see. 5 months, you 100% don't have enough cars on your lot for 5 months.
Come here, Dick Sucker. Let me show you this. Come here.
I'm coming. I'm walking as fast as I can.
Come here, shit for brains. Come here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's
7,
a couple parked
8,
over
9,
there around the tree you can't see.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
I think there's 22.
This makes 20. So, like everybody else, go fuck your mother.
What's the ideal tape size?
Tape? I mean, 3/4 does everything.
That's what we use.
Is nice.
Let's see. How long do you wait to spray each round of clear coat?
Probably about 10, 15 minutes. It depends on how hot it is. I'm in Texas, so by the time I'm done spraying the first coat and mix up more, I go right back into it.
What's the best spray gun that you like?
Harbor Freight $70 paint gun.
I thought you were going to grab one. I didn't realize you were going to grab the Mountain Dew. Let's see. What pressure you spray base coat and clear at?
I don't get into that because every situation is different. It's only the applicators, and I mean that in the most derogatory term I can. Only the applicators go, you have to spray at this precise air pressure, and this is the only, because it's not real. Air pressure changes as you're spraying. And for those little monkey fuckers that go, it does not, well, you're lying. You're a lying liar.
Let's see. GR says, how much for an El Camino and a black cherry?
Probably 1,800 roughly. Just depends.
User 53 says, this cat's the most realistic. Keep up the good work, fella.
Thank you. Where's the little bitch that goes, you ain't got to work because you're got to be 5 months out. Where are you? Where are you at?
I actually haven't seen him.
Where are you at?
GR Jr. says, I love this guy. He needs a podcast.
I got one. It's YouTube. Come over on YouTube. JP Auto Paintworks on YouTube.
Let's see. VS says, maybe one day you'll be as good as us Aussies, champ. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Dad hates Canadians almost as much as he's hating Australians lately. They all so mean.
Maybe you ought to step your game up. If I had to come down on your level, and I've already said this a lot, if I had to come down to your level to paint cars, I'd be on the bottom run being a bitch again. So when you can learn to step way up high on that ladder, like roof high, where I'm at, then you can come join me. Until then, you don't get to talk with the adults, little one.
Dan says we charge at least $2 to $3 grand for a full paint. Do you make money?
No, I'm actually a billionaire. I just like to work.
Dan, you charge $2 to $3 grand. There are other people out there that go $2 to $3 grand. What do you expect? That's not a good price for a paint job. You're going to get a crappy paint job. Now you need to pay at least 10 grand.
Now you're going to get people looking down on you, Dan.
Dan, people look down on you for the price you charge, and you look down on us for the price we charge. We don't look down on anybody. We just do our thing and put down idiots who look down on us.
We put down stupid people who come on my page running their mouth. And that's all they got to do. If you don't want to be put in your place, you don't want to be shown what a special person you really aren't, don't come here running your mouth.
Gabe says you can come work here for free if that's your purpose.
Come work where? Where are you at? I'll be glad to show up at your shop if you're down there in Fort Worth and you need someone to show your painter how to paint. I'll be glad to.
Yeah, people want you to show up because they need help. Let's see. How much for an 87 S10 single cab?
$800.
They made S10s in 87?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. I don't know what year they start. I've never heard one that old. Normally they're 90s and 2000s that we do. Oh, wait, Suburban. How about a flat black clear coat?
If you're going to go flat black, you're probably looking $1,400.
Brett says we need the old Mountain Dew shirt.
That's not an old one. That one's in the queue to be washed. Calm down.
Lately, he's been wearing the tap out shirt.
Right.
How much for a 2000 Silverado extended cab?
$800 unless it's red.
Let's see. GR says thank you.
Sure.
They says I love him.
Everybody
He's funny. That Purple says I love your work, JP. Good job, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. See, the problem is that I run my mouth, and these little special people don't like what I say. But I can back up every inch of what I said. Every inch of what I say. But every bit of it.
We do, unlike other people. It's 10:13.
Who is showing up?
Oh, that's the guy working on his land.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn, they got the flatbed.
Unlike these, oh, dang, what was I going to say? Oh, unlike all these other people, we actually go a step further than they do. They only show their work inside under neon lights. They never show it outside, and they only show parts that they're doing. Nobody's painting all overs.
Or they're showing it while they start painting, cut the camera off, bring in the real painter, and then show it when it's finished going, I did this.
Yeah. Just like people that take advice from the refinish media idiot who goes, this is how you do everything, when he doesn't actually spray anything. He just shows himself for all of 3 seconds doing something.
He's a fat fuck that ain't seen his own pecker in years that claims, I paint cars. No, you don't, you fat fuck. You steal terminology from me that you don't know anything about.
He doesn't know anything about any of the terminology, just like the idiot who said, I pay $550 for a gallon of clear and thought this was flaking off.
Thought this was paint flakes.
This is not flaking off. Let's see. Has he tried air dry clear coat?
Air dry clear coat.
There was someone on here the other day that was in our comment section. And I feel kind of bad for him. But he was like, I paid $1,000 for a quart of, what did he say? UV drying clear. Yeah, I paid $1,000 for a quart of heat-activated clear. Yeah, that's what it was. Heat-activated clear. I was like, buddy, they're all heat-activated. Sorry, guys, on YouTube. I gotta lift the camera up. Okay, let's see. Love the new videos. Oh, love the videos new to you, not new to your video.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wesley Snipe. Bruce says, jokes aside, love your work.
Thank you.
But he did say you look like a house painter.
I look like a house painter.
He does, actually.
I'm not Mexican.
Oh, now that was racist. How do you remove a ceramic coating that was improperly installed? Yeah, good luck.
Lacquer thinner. DA, shotgun. I don't know.
Crawl says, yeah, dude, YouTube needs more channels like this. You guys are crushing it.
Thank you. No, we're not. We only got 2,300 followers, while I got 59,000 on the other one and 45,000 on the one that's following me.
We got like 63,000 on Instagram. But I was looking through lives the other day on YouTube, and really there aren't any other lives. Like, we started doing them on TikTok because that's what TikTok's known for. And so then when we switch over to YouTube, it's actually working. The lives, and I haven't seen anybody else that's doing lives like ours either. It's kind of weird.
Billy is the only other one.
In the Caribbean, they call it a bonnet also, and the hood is the top of the car.
Right. And how stupid is that? Because who owns most of the islands over in Caribbean? In the Caribbean?
I think America.
I think they're called the UK. I think the UK. They own the majority of them.
They might. Let's see. Gabe says you have to spray at 28.5 psi.
Yeah, see, there's an exact perfect guy. He knows the air pressure because he never drops in his shop, even though he's a lying sack of shit.
Let's see. Oh, I've got a lot of people that want prices. Let's see. 7-6er says true man needs to be more honest about what he talks about.
Well, that's because what he talks about, he knows about and can back up. I can back up every inch of everything I say.
Let's see.
There's no lie in me.
Snoop says 2001 Ford Excursion.
Like when I say I fucked your mother or I fucked your wife, see, I'm lying about that because I know it gets underneath their skin. But when I say I can take your car from your body man, prime it, base it, clear it, wet sand it, give it back to the insurance company. The insurance adjuster will kiss me, buy me dinner, and try to fuck me. That's how perfect it will come out.
Let's see. 2000
exaggeration, but no lie.
2001 Ford Excursion.
Had that happen once. I didn't like him though.
2001 Ford Excursion.
$800, you little shit.
2001 Ford Excursion.
$800.
2000 Jeep Cherokee, plum crazy purple.
For the plum crazy purple, $1,000 if you're changing color for the outside.
How much for a 1993 Nissan 240 SX?
$500.
How much for yellow?
$800.
We hate yellow.
We hate yellow.
Let's see. User 93 says, really enjoy the sarcasm. Keep up the good work.
No.
How much for 2015 single cab Silverado? Same color.
$800 unless it's peeling.
Looks like it's white if that's the same one in the pictures.
It's white.
The PPG UV curing clear.
Right. What about it? You're getting fucked over it. What do you want? What don't you understand? You're getting fucked? Are you tripped up by the you, are, or fucked? Which one?
I wish you did work for someone from, I don't know, it cuts off. Hello from Middle Georgia. When do we get a t-shirt?
I will have links on
all of
our pages shortly, like within the next day or so. We're making our minds up. I think I'm going to put my pretty fucking face that says JP Auto Paint Works. Fuck you, bitch.
And we're going to have him sticking up the middle finger.
And I'm going to have a throw pillow with my face on it. And it's going to say, your mom and wife and sister have sat here.
Let's see. Jody says, well, hell, I'm glad I stumbled across your page. Great entertainment. New follower. Thank you, Jody. Poof said JP was looking gangster. He always looks gangster.
I'm always looking gangster. I try to look psychotic.
Griff's Auto Body Repair says, big boss, working from Jamaica.
Hey, man. Look, I can look like a pirate, too. Arr, now me looks like a pirate walking around with me legs. Arr. It's in my eye.
E says, what's your thoughts on running a business yourself?
Okay, what do you want to know? To get your business off the ground, you have to have a niche. I learned that long ago. So we opened up the doors at JP Auto at a place called Fredericksburg Public Auto Auction run by a little Indian named Bobby. Greediest little son of a bitch around. Like, and I mean that. Pulled out a knife on me one time to stab me for a fucking nickel that was laying on the ground that I was trying to pick up. Right? He's like, that's mine. But Bobby gave us the place in the back and said, here, you rent it out. You pay me 50% of what you make on a car. And I said, okay, no problem. So we did that for 3 years until we could build up enough money to go rent a shop, buy a air compressor, and
And
that's all we needed.
he just like everyone else kept telling us, you'll never be able to afford rent
Right.
anywhere. You'll never be able. Okay,
Right.
rent was $1,500 a month. Electricity was $40 a month, and that was it. And then the water bill was like $10 a month because we don't wet sand and buff anything. So we could do 5 cars at $400 and have more than enough money, and everything else we made after that was just profit.
And we lived in Northern Virginia, and so we did. You've got to learn to budget your money. You've got to learn to work smart, not necessarily. Well, you're going to have to work hard. You'll never have a bigger drive from an asshole pushing you than you wanting to get cars done, because it's amazing. No worky, no foodie, no housey to live in with no money.
Yeah.
So you'll drive yourself into working like I have done over the years. You'll start work at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then you'll come home at 9, 10 o'clock at night. So you can get 5, 7 cars done.
Jeff says, gotta respect a man that tells it like it is. Cameron says, I have no one around me like y'all, but there is a Mako. Would you consider using them?
Sure, I'd use them. They've got warranties on their work.
Use a Mako, use an Econo. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong
as long as you manage your expectations. Look, you're not going to get a show car paint job from a Mako or an Econo, but it could be pretty darn close. Maybe they even promise you a show car paint job and deliver. I don't know. The painters there are amazing. The preppers are also amazing, but you have to set real expectations.
I don't know what state you're in, but there's a Mako owner who owns 5 Makos out in Arizona, in the 5 major cities. He's pretty goddamn good at what he does.
He is. Let's see. I can send you some pictures so you could see what my workshop looks like. How many cars are in the parking lot?
Why? I don't care. I told you, if you have feelings, this is not the place for you. I don't give a shit.
Matthew says, finish time. Zach says, hey, from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hey, New Orleans.
Buzz says, I sleep in his parking lot.
You know, it's not funny, but I've worked at shops where homeless guys are living out in their cars, and coming in and cleaning up early in the mornings and stuff, but they were body men and stuff like that until they got paid. I mean,
seen it.
We've all seen it. We've all done it at one point, even me.
Stan says, hello from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hey, Phoenix.
Let's see. How much for a 95 Chevy 1500? It's green.
$800.
Jeff says, folks don't understand how hard painting a car is. It's very labor intensive.
It is labor intensive. It is. But then again, too, whenever you've painted enough of them, you start getting into it. It's a groove. And so it's muscle memory.
Let's see. Julian says, can single stage go directly over bare plastic?
Yeah, I mean, it can. It shouldn't. It can. Add flex additive to it and spray the raw plastic with Bulldog or 222.
My phone has 1% battery life on TikTok, so it's about to die.
How many people we got?
152.
Okay.
Jeff says, gotta respect a man tells it like it is. I think I already read that one. Does that air dryer setup work set up that close to the tank?
Yes, it does. But yeah, I've learned that, we probably should move it. I'm not going to, but yeah, it works.
Yeah, we probably should, but I'm not going to. 2013 Ford Fusion. Where are you located?
$500. We're located in Runaway Bay, Texas. There's a 5-month waiting period from drop off to pickup.
TC6 says, I'd love to have it 2-tone black and white like the old Blazers.
Okay, we can do that. Send us pictures over on JP Auto Paint Works. It's a different price.
Is it
look at it.
Is it a good idea to put filters between the compressor and the hose to paint?
Sure.
Let's see. Cars.
As opposed to where? At the end of the paint gun, between the hose and the paint gun?
It's still between the hose and the paint gun. What's up, gang? Shout from North Korea. Wishing I was in the States to get a paint job on my 2017 Silverado.
If you're in South Korea, you'll be back soon. Unless the little Kim nuked you.
I don't know anybody that owns a Silverado outside of America. In fact, the further north you go in America, the less people have Silverados. Let's see. Why was 6 scared of 7?
Because 8 ate him.
That's not the joke. It was why was 7 scared of 9? Or why was 7? What was it? Why is 7 scared of 8?
No, it was why is 6
Dang
scared
it.
of
I don't
7?
remember anymore.
Because 886.
Let's see. 2003 Black Corvette.
You don't have it.
Grease Spot Garage says, what's up, everyone?
Grease spot. Hey, man, mechanic? Got to be a mechanic. Come over on JP Auto Paintworks on Facebook if we go off of TikTok. Phone's almost dead.
Yeah, TikTok's about to die, so you guys can move over to YouTube.
I mean, there's a chance. We're hoping that it does.
Hey from Sweden. Great work, man. I think I read that one.
Hello, Sven from Sweden.
Is it possible to paint a car with a 20-gallon compressor?
It's possible, but it's going to take you a while. I don't recommend it.
Scott says Harbor Freight has an industrial dryer. It's awesome. I haven't seen that.
We haven't been in Harbor Freight in a month.
It's why are all the other numbers afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
Right.
That's what it is. I knew that. How much to paint an 89 S10 deep blue metallic?
$900 if you're changing the color.
TC6 says Alberta's like a baby Texas.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't ever compare fucking Canada to Texas in any goddamn way, shape, or form. Canada ain't nothing but a bunch of baby back broke bitches.
If you can't tell, he doesn't like Canadians.
Oh, I hate
He keeps
Canadians.
getting ragged on by Canadians.
Right.
Let's see. Push says no one's waiting 5 months, buddy, except some broke person. Let me answer this before Dad goes off. If you can afford to be 5 months without a car, you're not broke. Can we just put that out there? If you can afford to be 5 months without a car, you're not broke. It means you have another car. You have multiple cars.
Now, the people that drop off to me, their cattle is worth more than your life. They've got two cattle, two head of cattle that's worth more than your fucking little apartment that you're renting and the shitty little Honda that you're driving around in. By the way, those guys who are dropping off to me, they own, there it goes.
Just keep going. I can put it on here.
Right. They own 2025 vehicles, right? They're pushing cattle around with their 2019, their 2020, whatever. They're pushing cattle around. Or they're out in oil fields.
Hey, JP, how much for a 69 Charger? That's from Cowboy.
Probably $1,800, roughly.
We've done one Charger, right?
The airborne
The
guy.
blue one that was down there in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one we've done. And we had to pull that thing. I have video of that still,
Oh, yeah,
pulling
pull
it from the
sideways.
tree. I was thinking about posting that one up.
Yeah.
I was thinking about
He
posting
had
that
a
one.
dent. He had a dent in the fender, or was it the hood?
It's a fender, and a dent is an understatement. The whole thing was smushed in. So I was thinking about showing video of where you're cranking on that, pulling up against the tree.
Got chains and a come along around a big ass oak tree, pulling a dent out on a 65, 69.
I think it was a 71, 72 maybe Charger.
I don't know, yeah.
Let's see. Big Daddy says, I would wear that. Please tell me you're going to offer a 5X. I don't know what sizes they offer yet. We actually have not looked into it, but we'll see how big they offer. One thing I'm not offering is small and super small.
Right.
You got to
have
be.
get a schmedium.
You got to get schmediums. Let's see. Greasebot says, man, I just subbed. This is freaking hilarious. Big Daddy says, I was out in Culpeper for like 3 years. Do as much of your prep work and taping before you go to pray and spray, and the paint job won't be half bad. That's very true.
In Culpeper, Virginia. You took it to the Mako in Fredericksburg? Wasn't
there a Mako in Culpeper?
No, there was not. The closest one would have been Fairfax out of Culpeper.
Okay. Sam says, what chemical can I use to make light rust be treated on a frame? It's a Florida truck that sits in the grass.
You'll have to cut the rust out, man. I mean, there's stuff out there that says it'll turn rust into primer, but once it starts biting into the metal,
if it's pitted, there's nothing you can do.
Sacrifice a goat to whatever god you want, but it ain't going to stop it from fucking eating the metal, no matter what you do to it.
Eddie says, hello from the Netherlands.
Neverland? Netherlands.
Greasebot says, the best clear I've ever sprayed was Glazerite. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it's nice stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. It lays down like butter. It's really buttery, and it's really buffs and nice.
What's the best clear you've ever used?
Sickens.
I thought you were going to say 5-star or Transtar, whatever that was.
I liked those two. They laid down pretty close to what that does. But truthfully, the best clear I found that I like the most, now I've never buffed it, is this stuff. Because the hotter it is, like it's 90 some degrees outside right now. If you're not careful on the first coat, you'll run that shit. You know, most clear in the heat will orange peel, dry immediately. Autobahn took a lot of notes from Sherwin-Williams 720 clear, because the hotter it is, the more careful you better be about putting runs in the car. Now, in the wintertime, it's counterproductive of that. It will actually orange peel like a motherfucker in the winter, not run, which is different. It's counter to every other clear that's out there. Don't believe me? Try it.
I didn't realize that the orange peel could happen if it was drying too fast. Is that why I always had a problem with the 1.3 head? Because maybe I was spraying too light and it was orange peeling and drying too quickly?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I don't like 1.3s.
It definitely works better with the 1.4. Big Daddy said, I was going to bring my 1990 GMC Fleet side to the Fredericksburg shop, but those guys had their heads up their butts. Yeah,
he's out of business. The owner that was there, I opened his shop. I came to work for him out of North Carolina. I came and left Raleigh, where I was the manager of the store. And I went to work for the guy in Fredericksburg who was opening up a brand new store. And I got to working for him. And then he just decided he didn't want to pay. He's a multimillionaire. Supposedly his wife owned an island in the Caribbean. And for whatever reason, he just decided he didn't want to pay. And so after about 4 or 5 years of that shit, he was looking to try to sell it. By that time, I had opened up my own shop there in Fredericksburg. And so he was trying to sell it, and I ran him out of business. And then we ran out his buddy who bought it. I ran him out of business. And now it's not a Mako anymore.
Candyman says, you can relax. I'm back. Okay, you didn't notice I left. No, I did, because we asked someone what the other name for Cynthia was, and no Candyman answered Larry. So I'm very disappointed in you. You're supposed to know my other name.
Larry, get in the corner. Candyman, get in the corner. Bad.
Let's see. Greasespot says, anyone waiting 5 months want the best. That's what that is. I mean, it's blowing me and Dad's mind, because that's what I've been telling him. I said, people are willing to wait a long time for you to paint their car. And it's crazy to me, because we were always trying to do this as fast as we could at the lowest price back when everybody was reasonable and they were charging like $25 to $3,000, because people just go pay that rather than waiting a month for us. But now people are like, oh, this is my third car. I don't care. You can take 5 months with this, JP.
I've got people that have come down.
Guys.
That have come down from Oklahoma City. I've got people that have come up from damn near the border of Mexico, which is just as far away as Oklahoma City is. It's like a 5-hour trip one way. I've got people that come from Louisiana, Shreveport, got people that come from Arkansas, got people coming from
we have a lot of people that have come from Kansas City, Kansas, right? So that's about a 6-hour trip. Now people ask us, what's the furthest someone's driven? And so that honor goes to Crew Mustang, who drove from Georgia. He drove an hour south of Atlanta all the way over, which was like a 20-hour trip, 21-hour trip. But he's top, but then next to him, the furthest away is a guy that was from Texas. We're still an hour from being outside of Texas, but a guy drove from Corpus Christi, Texas up to us. That was a 10-hour trip one way to us, if that shows how large Texas is.
And that was from 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago. Let's see. Cowboy says, hey, JP, if you want next deployment to Canada, I'll let it burn for you. Don't do that.
Take a picture of a house that's on fire so I can laugh at it.
You're terrible.
I'm sorry. I hate Canadians. I hate them.
I know. You hate you just like generalize people.
I do. I never said I wasn't a scumbag.
Let's see. Panther says, for real, bro.
Yeah, really? What was your first clue, shit for brains?
I actually don't think he meant that to be mean at all. He was like, you're the real, like a real one.
Oh,
Or
my
is he
bad.
like, are you for real? It could be taken either way. I don't know. Could be taken either way. Let's see. Do you guys paint match?
No.
How much would it be to paint my 04 Buick LeSabre Midnight Blue?
$500.
He
If
said-
it's blue already.
He says, greetings from Dallas, Texas.
Greetings from Dallas, Texas. Greetings from Runaway Bay, Texas, which is what, hour and a half away
Yeah, without traffic.
without traffic.
And the way you
With-
Texans
with
drive,
traffic 7.
but with the way you Texans drive without traffic, you can get here 45 minutes. Let's be
Right.
honest, right?
I had a motherfucker drive over from Tyler, which took me like 5 hours to get out here once.
From Tyler over to here.
From Tyler, he made it in like 2.5.
Yeah. I was like, well, how fast were you going? Like 85?
He goes, yeah, on the highway, but once I got into those small little towns, I slowed down.
Let's see. Candyman says, Cynthia, Larry, camera girl, hey you, LOL. Okay, camera girl is usually what's said on here, but hey you is definitely what dad says all the time.
Hey, you, whatever your fucking name is. Like, my mother had 5 kids. My sister, my brother, my other brother, and then me. Well, I guess that
That's
makes
4 kids.
We killed Larry. So, I mean, as a child, they tell you don't run with scissors, but
I was named
It's
after
okay
my
to-
uncle.
it's okay to run with scissors if they're out like this, but not behind Larry in the back of the head. Oops.
And then you had a bunch of dogs.
Right. We had dogs, and so my mother couldn't get my name right. My name is John. So she'd go, Steve, Lloyd,
Butch.
Butch, which was the dog's name. I went, hey, Mom, what's the easiest name you remember? She went, Bob. I said, okay, just call me Bob.
And she did.
And she did. The last 2 years of my mama's life, it was, hey, Bob. Yeah, Mom. She had a big ass smile on her face. Now it's fine. I didn't give a fuck. I've been called worse all my life.
Eddie says, Sickens is from the Netherlands. Now a Kozo Noble group. Exo Noble.
Do you want a medal for that? Do you need a medal?
I
or do
think
you
they're
want-
just
that's-
sharing information. What's so wrong with
Who
people
gives a
sharing?
flying
I
fuck?
did. I didn't know
If
that.
you
It was
have
interesting.
feelings, don't be here.
It was interesting.
Who gives a fuck?
Let's see. Corey says, hey, y'all, from Lake Vernon, Louisiana.
Hey, Lake Vernon. I don't know where that is.
I was going to say, you said that like you knew where it was. I didn't know they had lakes in Louisiana, if I'm being honest. I figured everything was a swamp. I figured from
Every
Swamp Vernon,
every
Louisiana.
every 4 or 5 years, it kind of like goes way down here, and then it comes back up and it's got new land. Actually, I think Louisiana is becoming known as the rice state now.
I know,
So much
they have-
rice is grown there.
But Texas does too. They grow a lot of rice too. I didn't know that. I actually saw a thing. A lady was down in not Baton Rouge, but
It's not
New
Baton Rouge,
Orleans. She
it's
was in
Baton Rouge.
She was in New Orleans, and she was in her
Orleans.
car parked, and the sea was right across from her. And she was like, with the camera, she's like, everybody doesn't understand this when they talk about sea level. She said, New Orleans is not at sea level. We're below
Below
sea
sea
level. She's like, do you see where I'm filming? I'm sitting in a car. I'm still like 3 feet off the ground, but the water was perfectly even with her. I was like, dang.
Even Virginia Beach is like, I don't know, a foot above sea level. It's not much. Fredericksburg's only like 5 feet above sea level.
Yeah. Corey said we're right by the border of Texas. Oh, well, see, you should just be Texas. You shouldn't be Louisiana.
We'll just annex you in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He's a Texan.
Lake Vernon is now Lake Vernon, Texas.
Right.
You're no longer Louisianan.
You don't have to worry about that. We dubbed him.
If Trump can change the Gulf of America, then we can make you become Texan.
Julio de Patrio de Filio de Sancto. Go with God, my brother. You're now Texan.
Let's see. Grease Spot. He says this guy's more entertaining than my friend Anger Management Pete. Love it.
Anger management.
I haven't
Is that
seen
the guy
him.
that runs the DIY school? Pete.
My friend Pete.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen his too. His is entertaining. He does his in a very serialized way, like I'm watching a TV show.
Right.
Like I watched a guy go into his office and like talk up at the camera or whatever, and I was like, I don't know why, but this is weirdly entertaining.
I watched Pete go into his local paint store on one of them.
And they actually liked him. How weird was that?
You saying my paint store don't like me?
That's exactly what I'm saying. They see JP coming and they're like, oh, Jesus, this guy again.
It's your time, motherfucker. You gotta wait on him. Fuck you.
Let's see. Candyman says, I forgot. And daughter. Yeah, that one's put on here a lot too. And daughter.
It's my daughter. What's it to you?
You have to include and in the word. You can't just say daughter and daughter. Corey. Okay, wait, I already read that. Glenn says New Orleans is in a bowl.
It is.
Surrounded by water.
It's in a fish bowl. Makes for great crabbing though, I bet.
I bet. Man, I bet
they got great shrimp down there.
Me and Dad were talking about this the other day. So look, I grew up in Virginia, which was like 45 minutes from the bay where we could go crabbing if we wanted to, which we never did. But
that's not true.
I also grew up in Charleston, and so that was the year that I remember the most, was living down there and going crabbing like every time we got.
Every weekend.
I don't know how to fish. I genuinely don't know. I have fished maybe 3 times my entire life and never caught anything.
I'm not a fisher.
But if we go crabbing, I could catch a crab. I ain't got no problem catching a crab. Could do that all day long.
But yeah, here's the way I fish.
Oh, look, they jump in the boat. I actually watched a video on, what was it, TikTok, where a couple was out and they were fishing, like a group of them, and the fish were just jumping out of the water, and they weren't little ones.
Run.
People were getting smacked in the face with these things, and they were like this big. They were huge. They were freaking huge.
That's a salmon run.
So they had their fishing poles out, but they were looking at each other like I don't know what to do with this.
I had a friend who was stationed for the very first time up in Alaska, and they were going fishing, and so his buddy, or the officer who was taking him fishing, handed him a baseball bat whenever he came out with his pole. He went, "No, you're not going to need that." He goes, "You got a gun?" And the guy goes, "Well, yeah, I got like a 45. He goes, "Yeah, bring that with you." And the guy's like, "Why the fuck? What kind of fishing are we doing? Are we killing somebody?" Guy goes, "No, we're going to go fishing. I'm going to show you. The 45 is for the bear." And the guy went, "Bear? Yeah, there's bear up here, you fucking idiot. This is Alaska. It's a salmon run." And so he goes with him, and he sees the bear up the stream a little bit in the thing, and he's like, "Keep an eye on him. I'm going to show you how to fish." And so he stands there with a bat. And sure enough, whenever one jumped out of the water, he would bat that motherfucker.
Up on the shore?
Right.
That's actually pretty cool. The bear didn't mind?
Bear stayed up there where he was. You get 3 or 4 of them, and they're good. But it's not just the one bear you got to worry about. It's the other bears you don't see.
That's very true.
Not that a 45 is going to do anything except piss the bear off, but still.
Let's see. Phil says it's got to be pretty humid in Louisiana, especially in the summer.
It's humid here in North Carolina, in Texas as well.
For some reason, it's 68% humidity here. I miss my dry summer. Where's my dry heat? I hate all this freaking humidity. Because 88 degrees yesterday felt like 110 normally does down here with dry heat.
Right.
Let's see. Seawood says, I've been to Louisiana. It's pretty much what you said the first time. It's swamp. Yeah.
I've been through Louisiana on I-20 and I-10. I like it. I think it's beautiful.
Let's see. Neo says, I'm planning a trip from Australia to the U.S. What are the best parts to visit? Our first trip is to Memphis, Tennessee, and then Graceland.
I don't know what your interests are, but yeah, if you're coming to see where Elvis Presley lived, I guess so. I mean,
I want to go there. I think that would be cool.
I don't give a shit about dead people. I mean, probably
Do you like nature? Because the best place you can go for nature is going to be like going up into the mountains. Anywhere, it's just absolutely gorgeous.
If you're in Tennessee, run along the Skyline Drive up there, along the mountains up there. That's beautiful as well.
Everything's going to be really green.
Go see the Grand Canyon. It's a big ass hole in the earth, a crack in the earth. Mount Rushmore is kind of a place to go. Area
Dakota.
51.
Roswell, New Mexico, too.
Pull a Paul, the movie Paul. Take that trip. Go to see the black mailbox. That's a real thing here.
Go to Vegas because it's literally surrounded by desert, and then you have this giant city that's in the middle of it, just to look at all the cool things as you drive through it.
You can see Hoover Dam. when I went out to Vegas as a kid, traveling with my parents, you could drive across the Hoover Dam. I don't think you can drive across the dam anymore, but
I'll tell
I think
you.
they got places that you can park and walk across it and look at it and stuff and do tours of it.
So the prettiest places that we've been on vacation, even though we live there, was Charleston. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. It's going to suck in the summer. It's going to be crazy hot. But you're from Australia, so you may not notice it anyways.
That's not going to be hot to him.
But everything is super green. It's very beautiful. The city itself is gorgeous.
Stay in a campground. Don't stay in a fucking
B&B or whatever. Yeah.
Stay in a what's the campground?
KOA.
KOA campground.
Yeah.
Rent a cabin.
And then the next place to visit, I say, would be the Arkansas gold mine, because you can dig for gold.
Well, it's not.
Or not gold, diamond. Sorry.
The
diamond mine.
There's a diamond mine in Arkansas.
Hot Springs,
Arkansas. And then you can tour the town. They've got rub down places and shopping places.
Massage thingies, but they're not rubbed down like that. That sounds suggestive and gross. But it's a gorgeous place, and has a lot of mobster history if you're into mobsters.
History from who's the one? Capone and other people.
Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see. I need to go down.
And then if you're going to Virginia, go to Northern Virginia.
Go to DC.
Yeah, go to DC, walk around up there, get bumped into by every Asian in the world.
I swear to God, when you go to DC, the only people you see up there are going to be Asian tourists everywhere.
Muslims. You're going to have to be careful of the Muslims that are up there.
You might. Last time I was up there, it was nothing but Asian tourists.
So many fucking Arabs.
But you should see the gorgeous trees. If you go, the cherry blossoms, whenever they bloom, they're gorgeous.
They already bloomed. They're done.
That was in March, wasn't it?
Yeah, May.
I don't know. We went whenever they were blooming. It was beautiful. Let's see. Glenn says those types of fish were jumping carp. They're a trash fish and are very invasive.
Carp?
Didn't know that. Cowboy says, come out to Colorado. It's a dry heat.
Colorado's a nice place. You can rent you a fucking RPG or an AT-4 blow some shit up while you're out there.
If you come to Texas, Texas is its own country, honestly. Having lived in multiple states as a kid and as somewhat of an adult, Texas is its own country, so be prepared for that. The people are extremely nice. You're going to see people wearing stuff on their hips. They're going to be wearing guns on their hips. And everywhere as you go, you're going to see a Texas flag, whether it's on a cup that someone's selling you or it's painted on their wall. It doesn't matter what happens. Texas is a big deal in Texas. As it should be. Down here is awesome. Candyman says, be careful in Memphis. It's mostly ghetto.
I want to argue with him, but I can't.
We went through...
I will tell you this. Frankfort, Kentucky. You want to stay out of Frankfort, Kentucky if you have children. And if you're genuinely a person. Now, I'm not playing with that. There's no joke in that. Frankfort, Kentucky has had the largest satanic cult following of Anton LaVey. They have a church out there in Frankfort. Frankfort is not a good place to be in Indiana. For those that live around that area, they're going to go, oh, no, stay out of it. I'm telling you right now, stay the fuck out of Frankfort, Kentucky.
But something you have to do as a American, you have to go into a Bass Pro Shop. You absolutely have to.
Bass Pro Shop.
No matter where it's at, whatever state you're in, make sure you go into the Bass Pro Shop. I think there is. It's in a giant triangle. If it's still open, make sure you go to a Bass Pro Shop. Let's see. Corey says, I'm from Colorado. Bearded Viking says, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. feel like a boiling crab out here, how hot it's gotten.
I guess I'm done for the day.
Wow, we've been live for 2 hours. We never go live this long on TikToks.
No.
Mostly because we're getting banned.
Right. I'm surprised they didn't ban the fuck out of us.
It might. All right, I'm ending the live. Thanks for joining us for so long, guys.
Thanks, guys.